I'd like to welcome everyone back to the show, The Spotlight on Northfield Village. I'm your host, Mayor Jesse Nehez. I'm here with Jason Walters, the service superintendent for the village of Northfield, and more recently, the new wrestling coach at the high school. Jason, so tell me how everything came about with you becoming the new wrestling coach at Nordonia High School.
I've been assisting there for the last 4 years. I took 1 year off in that time frame to follow my son, but I was assisting there. Our former head coach, Bo Polson, decided to go back to college after talks and some influences of other people wanting me to take over the program. I did put my hat in, put my name in the hat, and we ended up coming down to me as being the head coach.
So tell us about your son Cody and his wrestling accomplishments.
Cody wrestled for St. Peter Chanel High School. He started wrestling when he was 6 years old for the Firebird Youth Program at Chanel. And he is actually Chanel's last state champion in 2011, and then went on to Ohio University. And in his redshirt freshman year, he became an All-American, a MAC champion, then All-American. Ended up being a 3-time MAC champion at Ohio University and 2-time All-American. Was 115 wins and I believe 18 or 19 losses in his career there. He's pretty successful there.
Must be a really proud father.
I'm very proud of him. He then went on to, he's now the head assistant wrestling coach at Gardner-Webb University in North Carolina, which is a Division I wrestling program in college. So he's doing very well there in his first year there.
Good. So let's talk Northfield Village business. How many years have you been with the village?
May 10th, it was my 22nd year.
And when did you become the lead of the department?
December of 2004.
So how many hats do you actually wear in the village? It's a lot.
I run the service department, which includes roads, sewers, buildings and lands, parks and rec. I do the project inspections for any projects that the village has going on. The building and zoning superintendent, handling all the building applications and inspections and zoning, primarily more the groundwork as far as like driveways, sewers, that type of stuff on the building end of things. We just make sure the zoning's right. And Summit County actually does the building inspections, and then the mechanicals are obviously through county. So I handle mostly the zoning, making sure all of our sewers and things like that are running properly, or if we have problems, we do fix them, make repairs, the maintenance of our sewers, which here in the village of Northfield, we do have a sewer maintenance fee. And many people often ask what that takes care of, and we do sewer cleaning. We have a Vector truck, so we clean the sewers as far as the sanitary sewers, the main lines, the storm sewers. We recently purchased a camera so we can camera all of our lines. So that's pretty extensive. There's not much that I don't take care of, or my department, I should say.
Tell us how, when the Hard Rock came about, it was one of the biggest projects in the county. How did that change for you as service director and building inspector at the time?
It definitely brought on a lot of responsibility and work, and it was definitely a lot of new ground as far as getting into the zoning end of things. obviously brought on bigger projects as far as we replaced
Sewer line and stuff.
We replaced that main line sewer to make sure that our sewer can accommodate such a establishment. So.
And you were working nights too on that project. I remember coming out, there was times we were 9, 10 o'clock at night.
We definitely put in some hours on that one. And like I said, there was a lot of new stuff there, and they were working 3 shifts, so you had to accommodate. We had the sewer line was taking, they were working pretty much double shifts, and I know I did put in quite a few hours, but the project overall went well. The building's up, and obviously it's been a very good success for the village.
So, tell me what some of the top reasons are that people call you, the residents.
The top ones, I get calls from residents for many, many reasons. I'd say one of the top, depending on the time of the year,
Obviously, snow would be snow plowing.
Well, in the wintertime, yeah, it'd be mostly, senior driveways, when's my driveway going to be done, things like this. But I'd say one of the biggest calls we have are definitely on the sewers, and we have many homes that have sewer issues within their own property, but, do want to check out to make sure the main's running. And then we do try to help the resident out as best we can outside of their home. Residents are responsible for their sewer line from the home to the main and the connection of the main, but we have done a little bit more to try to help in that situation if we can. But sewers are a big call, and your everyday, there might be a pothole here or whatever, but overall, our residents, I don't get a ton of complaints or calls or things like this, but when you do, you just try to respond in the best way we can.
Right. I kind of want to let the residents know that your department has expanded over 4 or 5 years. I mean, you look at all the properties that the village has purchased. So there's a lot more that you have to take care of now. And in the future, we're even going to take on more, we're trying to take on more property on Route 8. So, explain how that's going to kind of, change your department.
Well, and it really just brings more maintenance for the department, and we have grown. We don't have part-timers anymore. We have now a total of 9 in the department with my secretary. Lisa's takes care of the office and the administrative part of the things, and she does a great job. We got my assistant service director, Chris Weil, which has been with us 21 years, and he's worth his weight in gold as far as his work ethic and the things that he does. He truly cares and lives in the town. Then my advanced maintenance men are Sammy Ingracia and Dave Predovic. We have. I mean,
obviously, your team is.
Well, yeah. Without them, I'm really nothing. So, I'm able to get the things done and make sure things are overseen. Let them know the projects that need to be done. Oversee them. I do occasionally work with them when need be. Honestly, it's hard for me to pass up sometimes. I tend to like to work too. So, but at times, with all the inspections and things like this, it's I'm lucky to have such a crew that does have a good work ethic. I'd say our department, we have a very good rapport with each other in the town. So,
well, I look at myself and you. You can find us both outside with the rake, with the shovel, because I don't ask you guys to do something I wouldn't do myself, and you do the same with your guys. And I think that leads to a lot of respect to you and myself.
Well, I definitely respect the fact. Mayor does bring us a little more work at times.
You better believe it.
So, the occasional 11 o'clock at night text, I just seen this, and, we do joke and say,
Don't ride your bike anymore, Mayor.
Mayor, stay off your bike, quit riding the roads, things like this, and, which is good, though. And in the end, there's things that you see that I don't, or the guys don't. I mean, in my opinion, the way Town Hall looks as far as the grounds, we'll do the basic maintenance, always have and everything, but you brought it to another level. So, but definitely, we definitely have a respect for you and the fact that you do, and I can't tell you how many times I get the call of, hey, I need a guy, and you're out working too, and that's good. I think that people seeing you out there is not a bad thing. So I know that there is a respect in that way. There's times, though, that I say, Mayor, I got enough. You've given me enough. But in the end, it needs to be done, and we try to get it done as quickly as possible.
I don't think the residents know how many properties we've actually acquired since I became mayor. I believe it's 4 properties. We have the property on Heights Avenue that we're going to use for the park. There's been a lot of discussion on council of making that a parking lot. The building next door to Town Hall, we acquired that for parking here at Town Hall and a little gazebo area. We also acquired the bank building, which we're looking at possibly moving Town Hall to the bank building. And a few other properties we're also looking at, not to mention your service building on Ledge Road. So we've done a lot of expansion, and I think that people don't understand the workload that we have put on the service department. In my opinion, the service department is what makes the village shine every day. This is the things that people notice. So I have tons of respect for your department.
Well, I appreciate the mayor, and yes, we do, but in the end, you got rid of an eyesore next door and created
which is part of the beautification process.
Yes, that was an eyesore. The building had major issues. You now have a gazebo there in a green space area that really, in the end, we're getting a lot of compliments on. And then, once we get the old bank building here established and stuff, right now it's the basic maintenance of it, but we do have plans there. Hopefully in the next year or so, we'll get that park done, or the parking lot area done at the bottom of Heights and a Magnolia there, and we will create a good parking area for the ball games that go on and such at the parks. The thing that, as far as the village getting the properties, and a huge asset was getting that building over on Ledge Road. You now have one floor many people have to come in for their permitting, applications, whatever the heck it may be. And that is much easier, especially on our elder residents, to access. We have a situation where in the old department, we really couldn't give an ADA, restrooms, things like this for the public that's coming in. We've now able to house more of our equipment, which we continue to grow and gain. I mean, like I said, this year,
Record storage,
and I mean, the list just goes on and on. So that building to me was a huge asset to the department and to the public. So, and obviously, as we talk every day, we were looking at trying to acquire more and to continue to clean up Route 8.
And, one of the things we have been working on is a new entry on the south end of town. And I think we're almost there with that. People can see some landscaping and some new signage going in
on
the south end of town on Route 8.
We recently got the lease agreement there, and there'll be a project going on soon that will clean up that corner and make it look a little better, and match the other end of town, basically. So
So there are things going on. I know people say, where's the beautification at? But I think people have to realize that we are in the process of it. I mean, things just don't happen overnight. I mean, you're looking at things that, haven't been accomplished in 20, 30 years. I mean, there was always, even with past mayors wanting to clean up Route 8, but, they were focused on roads, and I'm focused on roads too, but there's a fine line there between the two, I mean, I think roads are very important, but at the same time, I also think beautification is important. We have to bring people into town.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, and the roads are, in the residents' eye, are probably the most important.
The most important.
But I do know that, in the past you hear so much about how can we get Route 8 cleaned up. I mean, in my opinion, the biggest eyesore of Route 8 is the utility poles and how they're leaning and everything else. And we've talked, to go underground and bring everything underground and try to do that would be such a cost that it's not an easy figure to come by and make that plan.
Right.
You're talking many millions of dollars to do so. It would be nice if we can get the utility companies to come out and change these poles out, straighten everything up. It would help. It's, we definitely got to get working more on the signage of these businesses, and some of them have changed. Our ordinances still need a lot of work, and council, I think,
right,
is looking at making changes there and helping that situation.
I also think too, the public's going to see coming out in Ardona Hills News and other publications that we are coming up with a plan. It's called an overlay district, which you'll see more in the newspapers. It's going to help beef up the commercial areas, B1 and B2. So there's a lot of planning going on. You're going to see a lot of progress with council working together to make something happen on Route 8. I know everyone's saying, man, it's taking so much time, we're not seeing anything. We are doing things. I mean, it's just a lot of time and effort. And like I said, you're going to see a lot coming out in ArdonaHills.news and other publications. So something to look forward to, something to read. Let's get on to road projects in Northfield Village. What could the residents see this summer?
Well, basically, we have 10 roads looking at getting improvements. The whole presidential subdivision is going to be looking at a recycle from curb to curb with a 2 to 3 inch overlay on top of that. So that will give us a much better base, and then we'll get a good top coat to that. And the biggest thing is we have to get time out of it. So that's why we chose to get rid of, to go one road at a time and do a major reconstruction of each road. That development can't last that long to do so.
Well, even if you took one road a year, how many roads are back there?
9.
There's 9 roads. So by the 9th year, you're driving on gravel.
We're basically driving on gravel now.
Right.
So, I mean, after the winter, and each winter it gets worse and worse. I mean, the last time those roads were done in 1992, and the biggest problem is the gutter lane is bad. But once those roads start to bust apart and the water gets in there and the freezing and everything else, and you start getting the holes, I mean, it's hard to keep up with. We are patching to get us, because that project's not slated to happen until early August.
And as I drive back there, I know residents come up to me and say, when are these roads getting done? When are these roads getting done? We've been talking about this for about a year now, over a year now. And I just want I want the residents to know it is going to be done this year. This isn't us just telling you to appease you. No, they are getting paved this year, this summer. They will be paved. So
the other project we got is Magnolia. When that project was done back in '92, the contractor never put the curbs in. We've never got to that. So We have found that there's an issue not having curbs. Heights and Summit both have a curb.
The rolled curb.
They have the integrated rolled curb, where we are putting a actual asphalt curb, but a 6-inch asphalt curb on Magnolia, and we're hoping to get that project done in June. With that project comes a backfill of the curb and a landscaping into each yard, which we'll have to, hydro seed probably in the September range, and we'll hope that the residents then kind of do their due diligence and help us water that and things like that. But that project's going to be
this summer also.
Yes, that's going to be happening in probably June.
Let's talk about Maple, because that's another one that's kind of built in with the presidentials.
It is, and we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to resurface that road and curb it as well in that project.
Now, is that going to be the integrated curb, or is that going to be the curb that you're talking about on Magnolia?
I would like to see the integrated curb, but we are, that'll be as far as the plan goes. When our engineer's done with it, I have not seen the final plan.
Now, before we go here, I just kind of want to hint on what's coming in the future in 19 and 20, 2019 and 2020. Council and myself and Jason have been working on a plan on a plan for projects in the village. So next year, so far, we have planned to do the rest of the signalization on Route 8. No, I'm sorry, that's 2020. 2019 would be Ledge Road in corporation with...
2018.
I'm sorry.
2018 is Ledge Road.
2018 is Ledge Road and the signal at Ledge Road. 2019 is the top half of Houghton Road, and the rest of the signals on Route 8. 2020 then will be a new signal at Meadow Lane. So these are projects that are coming in the future. So, we do have a plan in place. We're also looking at other rebuilds too. Covered Tree's on that list. Cambridge is on that list. So there will be more information to come here in the future. But, Jason, you've become one of the most well-liked employees in the village. And I don't know what else to say, but I get so many compliments on you. It's daily, and your department. But do you have any final words here?
No, I wanted to make sure everybody knew that we are looking at, on the east side, we're going to be sandblasting hydrants and repainting them. We're going to have a new color scheme, which we'll see as it goes along. As far as the rest of the people, the liking of me, I did grow up here in the village. I do have a lot of pride in the village. My great-grandfather was a mayor here way back in the day. I had a lot of people help me. Our former Mayor Milani, he entrusted me to go along with the department, and I know that at times people were apprehensive with me, and I can be aggressive with things, but I was aggressive in the growth of the department and making sure that our people feel like they're serviced. And I always tell my guys, we're the service department. We service our public. It's what we have to do. And I hate to take a phone call and just tell our resident, no, I can't help you. We do the best we can to help each resident, and I try to respect every resident that I do talk to, and I guess, over time you build a good rapport with them. You can't make everybody happy.
That's for sure.
I'm included in that. I mean, we've had residents and people in the village that get upset with us at times, but I do my very best, and I would never hold a grudge or anything. If someone has an opinion that I might not agree with, I just listen and you go on with it, and at times you're going to hear that. So.
And one final thought that I want to put out there, we are looking forward to working with Macedonia since their passage of Issue 3 on Ledge Road. I think the residents of Macedonia and Northfield Village are going to be pleased with how that project turns out. We're looking at $1.8 million for that project, and we're looking forward to working with Macedonia. So, Jason, it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.